Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 9 through 26. Let's show what this graven image is about.
Hey, do a quick show of hands who ain't got one so we know how many we need to order.
Yeah. Who ain't got in the pocket? Who ain't got one? Raise your hand so we know how many we got to order. Alright. You need to get like another 10, man. Another 10 or 20. 9. We just gonna order about another 20 of them. Then they'll be down there. But until then, just sure that this is key information right here.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 12, verse 9.
I'm saying 8.
8.
Y'all read the whole chapter when you get a chance.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 8. But that which is made with hands is cursed, as well as he that made.
That which is made with hands is cursed. Hear that? Now it ain't just this image. You got the Egyptian onyx. This supposed to mean to the Egyptians eternal life, salvation. That's magic. You got some Israelite groups that rock what they call a 6-point star, which is witchcraft. It's not a star, it's a hexagram anyway. You got your cobblestone down here in Mecca where the Muslims go. All this is idolatry. Egyptian gods and the image of Christ. Like say something? What's up? You gotta speak up, man. The fans is on. Step up. Stand up.
On that cobblestone, I had to get somebody on it. And they document cobblestone. They say it's a fallen angel that came from earth. But they walk around and they and they beat themselves.
Yeah. And they walk around it counterclockwise too.
Right.
It ain't like it's like counterclockwise.
They say it's an actual fallen angel that came from earth. Yeah. So what it is? You already know.
It's idolatry regardless. So let's get understanding. We'll read that again, Hebrew.
Verse 8. But that which is made with hands is
That
cursed.
which is made with hands is cursed. Come on.
As well as he that made.
And the one that made it. Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, whoever, you're cursed. Alright, come on.
He, because he made.
He, because he made it.
And it, because being corruptible, it was called God.
This being corruptible was called God.
Yeah.
Son of God. Huh? Come on.
For the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike hateful unto God.
So the ungodly and his ungodliness. Oh, God doesn't hate. The Bible just told you the ungodly and his acts are hateful to God.
She flipped your page.
Real talk.
But that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation.
There shall be a visitation on all the idols of the Gentiles. The gods of all the other nations are called God's idols anyway. And a 60-foot Zeus statue just got struck by lightning a couple months ago. Either in Texas or Ohio. And they got split in half with some lightning. Now they were saying, oh, a statue of Jesus. There was no statue of Jesus, there was a statue of Zeus. The Lord sent the lightning bolt down and smashed. It was a couple months ago. There should be a visitation on all the idols. Come on, Hebrew.
Because in the creature of God they are become an abomination and stumbling blocks to the souls of men, and a snare to the feet of the unwise. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
You heard what the Bible says? The devising of this was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
Right.
The beginning of it. See, we always thought fornication was physical. It is. There's a certain unlawful sexual acts. They can be found in Leviticus 20, Leviticus 18. Right? But he's talking here about spiritual fornication or unlawful worship. That was the beginning of spiritual fornication. Making an image, a graven image. Alright, come on.
And the invention of them, the corruption of life.
The what of life?
Corruption of life.
Corruption of life, come on.
But neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever.
They weren't from the beginning because God is a spirit. Right? Neither shall they be forever. Come on.
For by the vain glory of men, they entered into the world.
By the vain glory of men. Somebody wanted to paint their son or something. And put him up as Christ or God so he could be remembered. So this was vain glory. Right? Forget what the commandments say. We don't do this anyway. And your whole Roman Catholic ideology is based off graven image. The Vatican is part of that Babylon mother of harlots. It is.
And therefore shall they come shortly to an end. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he had made an image of his child soon taken away.
You hear that? Come on.
Now honored him as a God.
Honored him. Where your book at, Hebrew? Honored him as a God. Hold that book up next to this image right here, man. A father honored that man, honored him as a God. That's the same guy right here.
Same little fella.
Same guy. He's honored as a God, as Christ. Painted 1,500 years after the death and resurrection of the true Christ. Here come this cat Slick Willie around, and then he's going to paint him an image and call him Christ.
For social control.
And conquer the world under this.
For social control.
All right, come on.
Which was then a dead man.
Which was what?
A dead man.
Dead man.
Dead.
Come on.
And delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifice.
And delivered only what came with the image? Ceremonies and sacrifice. So pagan days, feast days came along with it. Certain ceremonies, how to properly worship, all they came along with the image. So the Lord knew what it was from the beginning. It was more than just an image that was put up. It was a whole ideology that was taught behind it.
Right. Yeah.
That's the problem.
Right.
That's the problem.
You cannot.
So you got people that say, well, we don't serve this. Or do you really? You don't? You don't observe Christmas on what they call his birth? Well, Christ say, remember my death.
That's right.
Which is Passover. Yeah. You around here Christmas tree ducking, calling it his birthday. And they ain't nowhere in here. They ain't nowhere in here. Do you really serve God? That's what we asking her.
I go with it, they say don't do it.
They say don't do it. Christ and them wasn't going around celebrating his birthday, period. Right? Come on, Hebrew.
Thus, in process of time, an ungodly custom grown strong was kept as a law.
You heard that? An ungodly custom. Over time, thousands of years have passed, an ungodly custom will be kept as a law. A tradition of man will be kept as a law as time passed, because ain't nobody standing up rebuking it.
Engraven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings.
Commandments of who?
Kings.
Kings. Not the Most High.
Whom men could not honor in presence because they dwelt far off. They took the counterfeit of his visage.
The counterfeit of his facade.
Come on.
His face.
And made an express image of a king whom they honored, to the end that by this, their forwardness, they might flatter him with that was absent. And if he were present, also the singular diligence of the artificer did help to set forth the ignorant to more superstition.
So we're just talking about the skill that the artificer had, that the artiste, whoever was that painted it. His skill that he had only made superstition of the people that was ignorant grow more and more. That's all it did. That might be Jesus. Now anybody you see look like this walking down the street, you putting up your wine and moving out the way. Huh? It ain't do nothing but further your superstition. Alright, come on.
For he peradventure willing to please one authority, forced all his skill to make the resemblance of the best fashion. And so the multitude, the Lord, by the grace of the word, took him now for a God.
Took him now for a God.
Which a little before was but honor.
Was what? Read it the last
Which
part.
was a little before but honor.
As a man.
As a man. Flat out. Come on.
And this was an occasion to deceive the world.
This was an occasion to deceive the world, because if you get this off, and he was a Jew, now the people who's supposed to be God's people can say, well, we look just like him, we Jews. Guess what? If he's the son of God, and he's the express image of his father, guess what? The father must look like this too.
Right.
This was an occasion to deceive the whole world. Now they the Jew and you the Gentile. Right. You the foreigner and they the chosen.
Right.
And this was an occasion to deceive the world. For men, serving either calamity or tyranny, did ascribe unto stones and stocks the incommunicable name. Incommunicable name. Well, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of God. But whereas they lived in great war of ignorance, those so great plagues called they peace. But whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled. But either one slew another treacherously, or grieved him by adultery.
That's it for that. Let's go down to Deuteronomy 4. Another example. This was the beginning of spiritual fornication. You got people say, oh, y'all in the world, you fornicate. But they ain't even equating the spiritual fornication, which is the false worship. Like, you're going to have to answer for that too.
Jacob had 12 sons, ladies and gentlemen. They wasn't all by the same woman.
Yeah, but understand, and wasn't no pimp matching down one stuff going on either.
There wasn't none of that.
You know, he's sneaking around and got him a little something on the side over there. Man, those women was going to get help meets for them and give it to their husband. So let's keep the order, you know. Even though I can have you another one, that ain't even going on.
No.
What woman you know going to get another woman for a husband?
Not at all.
Is that happening?
She ain't doing it.
We've been destroyed. And understand, we was in our own lane. It was all about nationhood and all that time. Right. You feel me? So Jacob was sneaking around like you dick won't sneak around.
Right.
You know, got you a little one, but sneak around on the backside and got you another one, and they don't know nothing about each other.
That's right.
That ain't what this was about. It's about nationhood. You feel me? Us being fruitful and multiplying and conquering the world with this gospel. That's what it's about. All right, let's get that Deuteronomy 4. 13 to 17. Another example on these graven images. Remember, this was an occasion to see the whole world. This was the beginning of spiritual fornication. Because with this, they bring in a body of notes, rituals, ceremonies, stuff that ain't got nothing to do with the Father. So the beginning of spiritual fornication, which is false worship, was them making an image. Setting up an altar. What are you looking at? Ain't no little one on you. You don't want it? Deuteronomy 4, let's get it.
Deuteronomy 4 and 13.
Then we gotta go to Romans 1. See, it's in the Old Testament and it's in the New. Let nobody tell you that.
Start at 12. We're going to start at 12. And the Lord spake unto you out of the midst of the fire. Ye heard the voice of the word, but saw no
similitude. In other words, you can see no likeness, no image. When the Lord revealed himself to the children of Israel, he was speaking out of fire. It was smoke everywhere. The mountain was thundering, earthquakes, and our people were shook. So they was like, Moses, look, you go deal with the Father, man. We scared of that. That let your presence of the Lord is not like, Anderson Cooper, CNN. You feel they were scared when they met the Lord at first, like, man, this is serious. All right? So but again, they didn't see no image. Wasn't no image there. Because the Lord is a spirit, right? Come on.
Only ye heard a voice.
You heard a voice. Come on.
And he declared unto you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform. Even 10 commandments. And he wrote them upon 2 tables of stone.
He wrote them. Oh, these are the laws of Moses. Look, the Lord spoke these laws.
That's right.
The Lord wrote this down.
That's right.
Understand that. Oh, those are the Jews' feasts. Then they say these are the Lord's feasts. Get it right. Right? So he tell you flat out, he say, and he declared unto you his covenant, not religion, his covenant, right? Which is a contract or a marriage, which he commanded you to perform. Oh, well, Kadar, if you feel like it, you keep a Sabbath for me. Oh, Rock, if you feel like it, you just, no adultery. Oh, brother, if you feel like it. Neither the Lord don't give advice. He gave commandments. Like, look, this is what you need to be doing.
There's a difference between a commandment and answer.
Yeah, exactly. Or advice.
Do what you want to do.
No, just do what you want to do. I'm just saying, you should do it like this.
Right.
No.
But it's okay.
He commanded what it is and he expected to be performed. Exodus 15:3, the Lord is a man of war. That's what the Bible says. So you can't join no army and the drill sergeant give you commands and you say, I'm going to do it my way. You're going to be locked up in the bridge and soon discharged. Right. So that's just on this carnal area. This carnal plane that we on. We think it's like in spiritual. You think the angels do what they want to do? You the ones that did got cast down. Alright, let's finish this off, bro.
And the Lord commanded me at that time to teach you statutes and judgments, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go over to possess.
So we ain't read nothing about no religion. Lord gave commandments. Let's get it straight. Anybody say this is a religious book, show the religion.